Hey y'all, good morning. Just wanted to stop in and give y'all a little bit more information about the 2019 revenue goal tracker that we shared yesterday. The reason that we shared it is because a lot of people in the group said their main problem was getting more clients. But what we run into is that several of our clients don't really know exactly how many clients that is. And so in order to know that, you need to know what your pricing is and what your overall revenue goal is. And once you know those two things, then you can tell how many clients that you need, and that can direct your marketing. And it's just a general good business practice in general to have, to track your revenue, even if it's on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis, just to know how you're doing and then how you're trending, whether or not you're on track to reach your revenue goals. So really quick, I'm going to jump into this 2019 revenue goal tracker. You can get to it by clicking the link in this post. And once you get there, then you'll see this little document. This is a Google sheet. So there's two things. One is this document isn't editable because, it's a shared document. It's just a demo with like example numbers in here so that you can see how this thing works. But if you do want to go ahead and use it for yourself, which I highly recommend, is to go ahead and come up here and go to File, Download, and click Microsoft Excel, and then it'll download this thing so you can actually use it on your computer in Excel. If you don't have Excel, you can easily just save this to your save a copy to your Google Drive, so that you can use it in your own Google Sheets account. The other thing that I want to call out is that you'll notice that most of these fields over here are all gray, except for a few of them are green. So like this green field, there's 4 green fields that if they're highlighted in green, it just means that they're okay to edit. And then anything that you see in gray, you want to stay away from because they have formulas in them that calculate your totals for you. So let's dive into this document really quick. First thing that you'll notice when you come in is that there's in column A and column B, there's your date and your sales. So what this is for every day that you've earned any money, then you'll want to enter that amount of revenue over here in the sales column. Don't worry if you didn't make any money that day. Like sometimes in business, as we know, things ebb and flow. So you might have a bunch of sales in one day. You might only make a few sales another day, or no sales the next, especially like on the weekends if you're not doing a whole lot of prospecting, depending on the type of industry that you're in. So, but anyway, what this is for is you'll notice that these dates go all the way down to the end of the year. So you will want to put in your total amount of revenue. And don't worry if it's not a precise, like to the penny amount. As long as it's generally correct and kind of in the same field, then you'll get generally correct numbers up here at the top. And keep in mind, this is just an estimator, something to help you track how well you're pacing towards your annual revenue goal. So let's dig into kind of what we see here over on the right. So this section is broken down into 2 parts. There's the top part up here, which tells you about your revenue and the time that has passed towards your revenue goal. And then this is an additional section that we added later on for extra value. So we'll get into that next. So what you'll notice here is first your total 2019 revenue. So based off of the numbers that you enter in column B for your daily sales, this sheet is calculating the total amount that's listed inside of column B. So based off of this demo document, there's a total of $158,000 in revenue for 2019. Next, over here, you'll see your 2019 revenue goal. And also, if you notice, if you hover over some of these fields, there's a note. So in case you ever get lost and you're not really sure what each of these fields represent, you can just hover over it to see the note. So right here, you can see your 2019 revenue goal is whatever your goal is. So for example, we entered $100,000 as our revenue goal for this demo document. But if your goal is a little bit higher, a little bit lower, much higher, feel free to just kind of get creative with this number. If you're just starting out, $100,000 is a kind of good goal. So feel free to adjust this number. You'll notice it's highlighted in green, so you can put whatever your goal is here. The next thing is today's date. So this is just tracking what today's date actually is, and you'll notice there's a formula in here that automatically puts that date in there, so you don't have to change it or anything like that. You can just leave it how it is. So the next thing that we want to look at is how these things are related to one another. So for example, each of these are kind of broken down into columns. So like right now, your total revenue goal, your total revenue is $158,000. So based off of that amount, then you would have needed to make roughly $63,000 by today in order to pace towards your $100,000 goal. And you'll see if you cover over this is the amount of revenue that you plan to earn by today's date in order to make your annual revenue goal. So you can see just by looking at this document that even though you should have made $63,000 by today in order to meet your $100,000 goal, we've actually already exceeded that because we've made $158,000 in this demo doc. The next thing that you want to see is your goal pacing. So down here, your goal pacing is how well you're doing towards that actual goal. So we can see we've met and exceeded that revenue goal. We're at 250% of that revenue goal. So basically, anything that's at 100% or above, it means that you're meeting and exceeding your revenue goal. If you are below 100%, then it means there's a little bit of catching up that you need to do. You need to play a little bit of catch up in order to meet your revenue goal that's entered over here in your 2019 revenue goal field right here. The next thing is your revenue pacing. So this column right here, the revenue pacing, is the amount of revenue that you could expect to get by the end of the year if you continue at the same pace that you're going. So for example, if nothing changes, if you keep making the same amount of sales, if you keep doing the same things, if you keep prospecting the same amount, if you keep investing the same amount of money in your marketing, if you keep doing whatever it is that you're doing to generate sales, provided there's not any change in your business or maybe like a slow season or something like that, then you can expect to make roughly $250,000 this year, which is well above your $100,000 goal. And you know that now because you've been tracking this data in this document. So let's hop over to this next section over here. This section kind of gives you a breakdown of your monthly, weekly, and daily revenue goals based off of your annual goal. So if your revenue goal for the year is $100,000, then you need to make on average about $8,000 a month or $1,900 a week, or depending on if you have a 5-day or 7-day work week, you need to make $384 or $273 a day in order to meet your $100,000 revenue goal. This last column over here on the right is more about time. And so as we kind of talked about, this is today's date, and everything's kind of based off of whatever dates you enter in your first day of the year and your last day of the year. Keep in mind that these are green because sometimes your fiscal year doesn't actually start on January 1st or end on December 31st. Or say, for example, you have a goal where you're trying to sprint towards just a 6-month sprint or a 3-month sprint, and you have a revenue goal that is only supposed to last 5 months or for a quarter or something like that, then you can change these dates to the start and end date of your actual goal period. It doesn't have to be a full even year starting on the 1st and ending on the 31st of December. Or it could even be, say you just founded your business a month ago, so you want to start like in July 2019 and then end it in July 2020 or something like that. Then you can always change these dates to something that makes sense for you. For us, for the demo, we just did a clean 2019 year starting on the January 1st and then ending December 31st. This next field is the number of days passed, so it's pretty self-explanatory. It's the number of days that have passed since the day that you since your first day of the year. So right here we can see that we're 231 days into the year. We're 231 days past January 1st. And then this last one is a build off of that information. So it's the percentage of the year that has passed. And we can see that 63% of 2019 is already gone. And so this document is really helpful for you to know that since we're quickly approaching year end, then are we on track, and what do we need to do? What will we need to change in order to meet that goal? The next thing that we did down here is an add-on. This is fairly new. because things can kind of change in your business, and sometimes you don't really know what goal you should have. This is to kind of help you benchmark or use your previous results to determine what your new goal should be. So for example, if you're used to making roughly $350 a day, and you think that by increasing your prices or increasing your marketing just a little bit, then you can increase your daily revenue or your daily sales to $400 a day. Well, then that will net you $104,000 a year, $8,000 a month, or $2,000 weekly roughly. So this kind of gives you an idea of like what your revenue goal should be up here if you need it, or if you're just kind of curious what things will look like depending on certain changes that you make. And so anyway, that's this entire 2019 revenue goal tracker. I wanted to come in and just show you guys how to use it in case it wasn't necessarily intuitive to you, because it's a really good tool for you to have to know exactly how many sales you need to make, how many customers that you need to have, because it can direct other business decisions, including your marketing and your sales goals. So this is a good starting point. So please, 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 I advise you guys to definitely take advantage of this revenue goal tracker. We developed this here in-house in Wild Monkey Design. It's something that's kind of proprietary to us, and we're only sharing it within this group because we love you guys. Definitely take advantage of it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us anytime. You can either comment down below or you can send us an email directly at info@wildmonkeydesign. Hope this was helpful for you guys. Hope you have a good rest of your day. And like I said, if you need anything, please feel free to reach out. Have a good rest of your day.